when you, just amuse me, when you took the record, how much training information did you actually have at the time?
Which record? I couldn't resist that then. So. Well, I had an experience back in '92 when I was on the national team and we were all doing pretty okay-ish. And then when Mike Burrows approached me, the guy who designed the original Lotus bike, before it was called the Lotus bike, and said, I've got this car company interested and they want to develop this even further. Will you come and have a look at a wind tunnel? So I went down to MIRA, Motor Institute Research Association, just outside Birmingham. And we went down, and that was my first experience with a wind tunnel. And it's pretty crude because it was made for measuring forces with trucks. So they've sort of adapted this little thing with wires so they could stand a bike on it. So it wasn't as accurate as measuring P's on bathroom scales really, but it was certainly better than nothing, which is what we had so far. And probably the biggest benefit that we had was a guy called Richard Hill, who was an aerodynamicist and didn't know anything about cycling. And I didn't realise until looking backwards through the lens how valuable that ignorance was, because he didn't know what you couldn't do. So we went down there and he said, will you ride in this position, will you ride in this position? And his colleague, Rudy Toman, who was a test driver, he was a cyclist, said, you can't ask him to do that. And Richard said, why not? Because he didn't know. And because it wasn't the real world, I was happy to experiment because I didn't have to buy it. You know, I wasn't signed on the dotted line, we were just trying it out. And then I saw the numbers changing massively and realised how important it was. So then had the motivation to go and train to ride in a different position. So that whole exercise, it was that piece of knowledge about position, even though the pictures of the bike and the pointy helmet was all futuristic and looked great, that was actually the big performance changer, was riding position. So just purely by chance, really, often how these things work, I bumped into that information. And then I had a work with a guy called Peter Keane, a sports scientist, who's responsible for a lot of success. He was the architect of British cycling, but probably a lot of people now don't even know. A very smart guy who was fascinated by how things worked, as opposed, and he wasn't really interested in winning and losing. He was just fascinated by how they work, and oh, if we did this, we'd go a bit faster. Train like this, you'd go a bit faster, and that was infectious. So to sort of wrap that up, I suppose I had a lot of this stuff. And I've been asked several times over the years, oh, imagine, what would you have done if you'd had this now? And I don't think we would have massively gained, and it was interesting to be involved in it while it was forming. And we used to do things very Heath Robinson, and we made masses of mistakes as well that didn't get as widely publicised. And have those experiences. This place, I would have absolutely loved it, because getting somebody fascinated with the journey rather than the destination is a really healthy place to be. And getting athletes, so I mean the Who What Bike guys, the first people for years that have let go of the history of an event and started just to look at the demands. They've got some knowledge in there with an engineer in Dan Bigham, who's an aerodynamicist who knows what's in the way, and done everything they can to optimise their performance. And unsurprisingly go very fast. And I think it's changed a lot now. We can see since I rode a bike just how many people are going fast, not just one or two individuals across the board, and nobody is more powerful. Powers haven't changed in the past 25 years, but the efficiency has changed because of knowledge. And you can definitely see that. I mean, that's just a fortuitous picture that James has used for this stand here, that John Archibald set the fastest time ever at sea level this week with a 4.9 pursuit. So, and that's because of knowledge as much as it is because of physiology. I can't remember what the question was now. I went off.